Good morning, good morning. It's a lovely morning. It's a foggy morning. I'm looking out over fields of foggy dew. Courtesy of the Dubliners and Sinead O'Connor. I hope you're well. Oh, let's just get that out of the way. This is my new week now. Pick the kids up at 3:15, so I don't finish work at 2:30. So I'm working straight through to 2:30 now, and then I'm done for the day. The joys of being self-employed. I haven't heard anything from the PRS. This guy from this guy was building his teeth up, He's got no full upper denture and lower 10 teeth, which we're going to turn into 13 teeth by the miracle of bridge work. And rang up the lab and explained to them that we're going to be opening the bite a bit, and they said that my preps were very good. They're very neat, very tidy, he said. And he didn't have to say that. I mean, I know that they're all like, oh yeah, you're the best dentist in the world when you ring them up. But actually, I genuinely think that they appreciate the extra time and effort that we put into doing these crown preps, because they can only work on what you give them. And to be honest with you, when I visited the lab, a lot of the work they get is absolute rubbish. It really is. I mean, it makes you wonder how they even manage to get crowns done on some of the stuff they get sent. And our stuff is really good. And we're getting better all the time, I mean, now we put in this little lab. And all you need is a Dremel and a few sandpaper cylinders and a couple of acrylic burrs and stuff like that. And then you need a little plaster room where you can cast up your plaster cast. So you take a primary impression, cast up your plaster cast, take it through to your little lab, lay down a couple of layers of wax, a bit of self-cured composite over the top, and hey presto, you've got yourself a special tray. Trim it up with your Dremel, put a few holes in for retention. And we started off, several months ago, getting the nurses to do these special trays, and when they had a bit of time, and they quite like it. One of them's very sort of crafty, she's always down hobbycraft, and she loves it. She loves it. She's got a reason to do what she wants to do anyway, which is just muck about with materials and make stuff. Oh, I don't know the view. You're a bit too. He's a cyclist who thinks he's a car. Let's let Mr. Airport Connection come past, because he's a bit of a speedy groover. He knows how to drive that van at top speed. Walk factor 4. I think that was the fastest they ever went in the original Star Trek. Walk factor 4. That was pretty well. They wanted to get somewhere straight away. Then later, of course, they got walk factor up to 10, I think. Anyway. So what we're doing is we are, when we say to patients, look, you need a crown, I know it's annoying, and I know when you say to a patient you need a crown, you need to come back, get it done, and so all you want them to do then is go away and book an appointment to get the crown done. But at that first visit, what we're doing is we're taking impressions. You have to take a primary impression, and then that's what you make your special tray on. But it is, believe me, special trays do work better than normal trays. They are easier to get in the patient's mouth. They are better for the patient because they're not so bulky. They don't warp and bend like normal trays do. They're not overextended or underextended like stock trays are. So, and not only that, I think because they are like a tighter fit to the teeth, you get a much better adaptation of the impression material to the preps. Especially when you're doing something like we were, which is 6 incisors and 4 premolars all being prepped and impressed at the same time. So yeah, so that was the first thing he said. Now, as I say, I've been to the lab and seen some of the rubbish, so I do think they appreciate. They at one point they did ask me just to jot down how I do everything, so that they could send it out to the other dentists. And like I say, I don't know how much of that is just BS. But they do seem, how can I put it, almost like pathetically grateful when you send them decent quality stuff. Because, as I say, they have to just put up with whatever anyone sends them. And the problem is that if something's not good enough, then what they'll do is they have to think very long and hard about whether or not to send it back. They have to, because if they send it back, or even if, let's say that they just ring the dentist up and say, look, this has got air bubbles all over it and half the prep's missing and everything. What do you want us to do about it? And it's a bit embarrassing because, it's quite possible that the dentist hadn't appreciated quite how bad it was, because the dentists are, obviously we can see the prep in the mouth, but we can't always see the prep really well in the mouth, and because there's not much light and there's not much contrast in the mouth. And it's possible that they are sending off stuff which they know is rubbish, but on the other hand, you don't really ever know what the preps are like until you until you cast them up and look at them, in the male positive impression, the cast. So what we did with this, which I was quite pleased about, was we took an alginate of the casts in real time, and what we did was we squirted temporary crown material into the preps, and then that obviously sets after about 2 minutes, doesn't it? So then you can just get it out and have a look at the preps and say to yourself, well, especially on the bridges, is the angulation correct? In this case, the angulation wasn't quite correct, and so what he's done is he said that he's going to make the bridge, he's going to adjust the teeth slightly, and then he's going to indicate to me where he's adjusted the teeth so I can adjust the teeth in the mouth and fit the thing on, which is a little bit non-standard procedure, but I mean, I'm happy with that, because he did say it's very, very minor, and it's, other than that, we've got to get the patient in, we've got to get them numbed up, give them 2 ID blocks, get all the temporaries off again, clean everything up, get another, do some more preparation, then do another cast and everything. So it'd be much better just to do a little bit of titivation when we come to fit the bridges. And you don't know, I mean, the bridges might go straight on, you don't know. He's only being pessimistic about them not being angled correctly. Possibly by the time he's adjusted the prep slightly, I reckon we'll probably just have to adjust the prep slightly. But anyway, that doesn't matter. So yeah, so they ring the dentist up and they say, look, this is all not all that brilliant, and 9 times out of 10, the dentist will just say to them, especially if they're on the NHS, they'll just say, look, do your best. Just don't send it back. For God's sake, do not send it back. Just do what you can, and then when I get it back and I'll get the patient in surgery and get them numb, and then I'll grind the hell out of the crown, or if I can't do that, I'll grind the hell out of the tooth, and I'll get the bloody thing to fit, and I'll just claim the money, and the patient will go away none the wiser and happy days. And of course, the lab to a certain extent, they, you know, that's what they want to hear, because they want to get the job done as well. They don't want a second impression and everything. That's all their profit gone. If they have to cost it all up and then they have to wait, let's say, I don't know, I mean, you've got to get the patient back in, haven't you? I mean, they may not be able to come back in for a week, and then they've got to collect it again twice, and then, so they're like, you know, if you say, well, just do what you can, then they're like, great, that's great. Because what they want is they want to be exonerated, you know, if it goes wrong. If it all goes horribly wrong, and they've heard you say, just do the best you can, I'll sort the problem out, then that's all that they want to hear. And, you know, a lot of crowns are fitted on that basis. I would say probably more than 50%. Because after a while they won't ring, you know, they'll just look at a rubbish prep and they'll just say, well, you know, there's no point ringing Mr. Fred, because we know what he's going to say. He's going to just say, well, do the best you can, you know. And by the way, stop bloody ringing me. I'm in the middle of another crown prep, another crap crown prep. So that's how a lot of rubbish crowns get made. So that'll have to be the title, won't it, for this? How rubbish crowns get made. Let me just concentrate a bit. Oh, I think we might be in luck. Yeah, we are. Oh, they get annoyed on the left there. They're going to redevelop that junction. They get annoyed on the left because they just think they might have a bit of a space, and then all of a sudden someone coming up the way I've been coming up nips out in front. Let's defog the windscreen a bit. So, that's all going well, and the good thing about it is that if we can build these lower teeth up a bit, then what I'll do is I'll do the rest with the denture. We'll open the bite up on the denture. Now the great thing about the denture is that I can actually put some acrylic on the biting surfaces of his denture and bring the teeth down a bit, you know. So in which case we'll have opened him up on the crowns, and I'll also open him up on the denture. And what I can do is I can do that initially without making the new denture. So I'll experiment with the occlusal vertical dimension and see what it can tolerate. And then once we've decided what he can tolerate, then we can then make him a new full upper denture at the new occlusal vertical dimension. That woman, the scammer who was going around getting sets of teeth made and then getting refunds, she then the one who had to admit that she hadn't had the lower one remade, she'd just gone and got the top one remade. We haven't heard anything more from her, so it's possible that she's given up on her claim, which is good. My insurers are looking to possibly close the claim down, but I don't know. I don't know, because it could be that she may be in the tender loving care of Dental Law Partnership at the moment, and you know, busy preparing a claim for records and stuff like that. I've got to say, I found the General Dental Council harmless insofar as they do just, all they do is they provide a way for you to exchange letters with the patient. You write to them, send it to the patient writes to them, they send it to you. It's all a bit pointless and needlessly expensive, in my opinion, because we said we weren't minded to refund the money, and that's how our last letter to the GDC was, saying that we're still not minded to refund the money, you know. And she'd, I think, can I put it? She'd had all the information she wanted from us. Not that she wanted any information from us. And in fact, we actually had all the information that we wanted from her, which is all the notes from the previous dentist, etc., etc. So to be honest with you, it's helped us a bit more than it helped her, because we that was how we found out that she hadn't had the what's it done, the lower denture. Look at this, what a carry on. As soon as I see one of these cars turn left, I'm going to go with him. Mind you, it's traffic lights, so, you know, really how far are they going to go? I'm nearly at work anyway. And by cutting through this, around the top of Manston Airfield, I come out near the front of this queue anyway. So I wonder what today holds in store. I wonder. Already the money's looking okay for the month. Well, we're now about the 10th. So come on, there's 2 lanes. What with it being the 10th and us having enough money in the account already probably to get through the end of the month, I'm quite pleased. That doesn't mean that I don't have to earn any money, but it does mean that my plan of knocking off at 2:30 2 days a week is not under threat. Oh God, there we go. More houses off to the left, and as a result, another junction being constructed. Plus, I don't work Friday afternoons, so there's like, you know, there's 2. Oh, I'll go straight on. You can turn right there. Not legally, you can't, but you can turn right there and go down this parallel road to the right, and then that takes you into the school premises by what they call the Stirling Way Gate, which is, in times of roadworks, they do leave open, but normally they shut. They used to leave it open all the time, but it was such a good cut through that all the local traffic used to cut through the school, which wasn't good picking up and dropping off time. It was a bit chaotic. So they close it, which is a shame, because it was one of the 2 ways that people come into the dental surgery. So when I took out, I rented this place thinking it had there were 2 ways to get into it, and then they immediately shut one other way. But here we're very much at the mercy of the school. The school is, I mean, there's, how can I put it, where we work, it was built, to provide some sort of industrial support structure for a failing school, and we've still got an obligation to donate 1 day a year to helping the school out with, and they have careers days where you can talk to the Minnie Mouse. You can. Oh, hello. Someone going in there. No. Someone going there. Right, good. I'm parking in front of my usual. What's it? All right, so that is basically, you know, how to deal with your lab. Be nice to them, and they'll appreciate it, and they'll be nice to you. I hope it was useful. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.